In the annals of ancient history, one name evokes a profound sense of mystery and intrigue: Enoch. This enigmatic figure, often overshadowed by more prominent biblical personalities, possesses a unique narrative that intertwines the divine and the earthly in ways that challenge our understanding of both. Imagine standing before an awe-inspiring vision, one where the very throne of God is revealed, filled with majestic glory and unfathomable power. Such was the experience of Enoch, who, according to ancient texts, was taken to witness the heavenly realms. But what exactly did Enoch see? The Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text that expands upon the brief mentions of Enoch in the Bible, describes a world beyond our own, where celestial beings engage in profound dialogues and divine judgments unfold. It is within these pages that the tale of the Nephilim emerges, casting shadows over our understanding of humanity's beginnings. These beings, often referred to as giants, are said to be the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, a phrase that has sparked debates and interpretations for centuries. As we delve into the ancient scriptures, questions arise that beckon our attention. Who were the Nephilim? Are they mere myths, or do they symbolize deeper truths about humanity's relationship with the divine? The implications of Enoch's revelations extend beyond myth, reaching into the very fabric of biblical history. They compel us to consider the boundaries of our understanding and the potential realities that lie just beyond our perception. The stories we inherit from our ancestors often come shrouded in layers of interpretation, and the narrative of Enoch is no exception. It challenges us to explore the dichotomy of faith and skepticism. Some view the Nephilim as allegorical figures representing the chaos of humanity, while others insist on their literal existence, suggesting they walked the earth and left tangible traces of their presence. If they indeed existed, what did their existence mean for humanity, both in ancient times and in our current understanding of the world? Today, we embark on an investigation that takes us deep into the realms of ancient texts, archaeological evidence, and theological implications. We will dissect the visions of Enoch, understand the nature of the Nephilim, and explore what their existence might imply about our own history. Through this journey, we aim to uncover three key insights: the true meaning of Enoch's visions, the nature of the Nephilim, and the implications of their existence on our understanding of humanity's past. As we delve deeper into the investigation, we will encounter a myriad of interpretations, some deeply rooted in tradition, others emerging from modern scholarship. These interpretations often conflict, creating a rich tapestry of thought that keeps scholars and lay people alike engaged in a perpetual dialogue. What do these ancient texts truly tell us? Are they speaking in metaphors, recounting historical memories, or attempting to convey truths that transcend time and language? If you find yourself captivated by these questions and eager for more explorations into the realms of the ancient and the unknown, consider subscribing to our channel. Engaging with this inquiry into the Nephilim and Enoch's visions is more than an academic pursuit. It is a journey of discovery that invites you to ponder the mysteries of existence and the narratives that shape our understanding of the world. As we transition into the heart of our investigation, we will focus on the Book of Enoch, a text that has long intrigued scholars and theologians. This ancient document presents a detailed account of Enoch's experiences, including his encounters with celestial beings and his visions of the divine throne. The rich imagery and profound revelations within this text offer fertile ground for exploration. What do these visions reveal about the nature of the Nephilim? Are they merely the stuff of legend, or does their existence reflect deeper truths about humanity's place in the universe? With every page we turn, new questions arise, urging us to consider the implications of Enoch's revelations. Are the Nephilim simply a metaphor for human failings, or do they represent a tangible reality that was once part of our world? As we continue to peel back the layers of these ancient narratives, we invite you to join us on this journey of exploration. Together, we will seek to uncover the truths that lie within the pages of history, revealing connections that bind us to our past and challenge our perceptions of reality. The investigation into Enoch's visions and the Nephilim is not just an academic exercise, it is a profound inquiry into the very nature of existence itself. So, as we prepare to delve into the ancient texts and archaeological evidence that surround this fascinating topic, keep these questions in mind. What do you believe about the Nephilim? Do you see them as a metaphor, a historical reality, or a mix of both? Reflect on these ideas as we embark on our exploration, and let the mysteries of Enoch and the Nephilim guide our thoughts as we navigate through the layers of history, faith, and interpretation. In the next part of our journey, we will lay out the foundation of what we will investigate further. With Enoch as our guide, we will explore the text that bears his name and dissect the visions that shape the narratives surrounding the Nephilim. We are about to uncover a world that challenges our understanding and invites us to reconsider what we know about our origins and the stories we tell. Prepare yourself for a deep dive into the extraordinary, where the realms of the divine and the earthly converge, and the shadows of the past beckon us to inquire further. As we embark on this journey through the ancient narratives, We will delve deeper into the enigmatic figure of Enoch, whose visions have captivated scholars and theologians for centuries. His accounts, particularly the ones documented in the Book of Enoch, open a window to a world filled with divine encounters and profound revelations. But today, we focus on something even more intriguing: the Nephilim. The Nephilim, often described as giants, have sparked curiosity and debate since their mention in ancient texts. Their very existence raises questions that span generations. Who were they? What roles did they play in the stories of the past? And, crucially, what can their legacy tell us about the nature of humanity itself? Today, we will investigate three key aspects of this fascinating subject. First, we will explore the true meaning of Enoch's visions. What did he witness, and how do his experiences shape our understanding of the divine and the Nephilim? Second, we will analyze the nature of the Nephilim. Were they merely mythological figures, or did they represent a tangible reality that once walked the earth? Finally, we will consider the implications of their existence. What does it mean for us today, and how do these ancient narratives resonate with our modern understanding of the history and mythology? As we delve into these questions, we will encounter various interpretations of the texts, each offering a unique perspective on the Nephilim and Enoch's revelations. Some view these stories as metaphorical, symbolic of humanity's struggle against its darker impulses. Others argue for a more literal interpretation, suggesting that the Nephilim were real beings whose existence has been obscured by time and myth. This divergence in understanding invites us to reflect on the evidence, the traditions, and the implications that arise from Enoch's remarkable visions. If you are intrigued by the complexities of these narratives and wish to unravel the mysteries surrounding Enoch and the Nephilim, ensure you subscribe to our channel. Engaging with these ancient stories is not merely an academic endeavor, it is a quest for understanding that transcends generations and cultures. Now, let's turn our attention to the Book of Enoch itself. This ancient text is a treasure trove of insights into Enoch's experiences and the nature of the divine. Within its pages, Enoch details his encounters with heavenly beings and his visions of the Almighty. These accounts provide a framework for understanding the Nephilim, revealing their connections to the cosmic order that Enoch is privileged to witness. The descriptions within the Book of Enoch suggest that the Nephilim were not just giants, but beings who embodied a chaotic force in the world. They are often portrayed as the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, a union that has sparked much debate among scholars. What does this phrase truly signify? Is it a reference to celestial beings mingling with humanity, or is it metaphorical, representing the blending of divine and earthly qualities in humanity itself? As we explore these interpretations, we will face open loops, questions that will guide our investigation further. For instance, what does it mean for humanity if the Nephilim are indeed a metaphor for human failings and excesses? Conversely, if they were real beings, what impact did they have on human history? These questions are pivotal as we strive to unlock the truths hidden within the ancient texts. Moreover, we must consider the archaeological evidence surrounding the stories of the Nephilim. As we progress in our investigation, we will examine how physical remnants of the past could support or challenge the interpretations drawn from the Book of Enoch. The intersection of textual analysis and archaeological findings presents a rich ground for inquiry. Prepare yourself as we dive deeper into the world of Enoch's visions and the Nephilim. Through this exploration, we will not only seek to understand who the Nephilim were, but also to comprehend the broader implications of their existence in our understanding of origins, myth, and the human experience. As we prepare to dissect Enoch's text and the implications it carries, keep in mind the questions that resonate deeply. Do you read Enoch's visions as a metaphor, historical memory, or perhaps a mix of both? Why do you think these interpretations matter today? Engaging with these ideas will enrich our understanding as we move forward. Now, let us venture into the heart of the investigation by uncovering the layers within the Book of Enoch. We will analyze the descriptions of the Nephilim and Enoch's encounters, exploring both traditional interpretations and contemporary scholarly perspectives. The path ahead promises to be enlightening as we bridge the gap between ancient wisdom and modern inquiry, revealing the connections that bind us to our past and challenge our perceptions of reality. As we delve into the Book of Enoch, we uncover a text that serves as a crucial piece in understanding the enigmatic figure of Enoch and the mysterious beings known as the Nephilim. Composed in the centuries leading up to the Common Era, the Book of Enoch offers a series of visions and revelations that Enoch experienced during his journeys through the heavens. This ancient manuscript is not just a standalone work, it exists within a broader context of Jewish apocalyptic literature, reflecting the beliefs and concerns of its time. One of the most striking aspects of the Book of Enoch is its detailed descriptions of the heavenly realms and the celestial beings that inhabit them. Enoch is depicted as a faithful servant of God who is chosen to receive divine revelations. As we explore this text, we are invited to witness Enoch's encounters with angels and the profound insights he gains regarding the nature of the universe and the role of humanity within it. The Nephilim are introduced in this narrative as beings of great intrigue, often described as giants. Their origins, according to the text, stem from the union of the sons of God and the daughters of men. This phrase has sparked extensive debate among scholars and theologians. What does it mean for divine beings to intermix with humanity? Some interpretations suggest a literal understanding, where these sons of God are seen as fallen angels, while others lean towards a symbolic reading, viewing the Nephilim as representative of humanity's darker inclinations and moral failings. The Book of Enoch presents the Nephilim as not merely physical giants, but as embodiments of chaos and corruption on earth. This perception raises important questions. If they were indeed real beings, what influence did they exert over humanity? How did their existence shape the moral landscape of the ancient world? Moreover, if they symbolize humanity's failings, what does that say about our own nature today? As we unpack these themes, we must also consider how the descriptions of the Nephilim in the Book of Enoch resonate with other ancient texts, including the Hebrew Bible. For instance, Genesis 6, 1-4 briefly mentions the Nephilim in the context of the flood narrative, hinting at their destructive nature. This connection between the Nephilim and divine judgment complicates our understanding of their significance. Were they punished for their actions, or were they victims of divine plans? Furthermore, the Book of Enoch elaborates on the fate of the Nephilim, portraying them as doomed to wander the earth after their death, their spirits becoming malevolent forces. This narrative arc serves to illustrate the consequences of their transgressions. The story of the Nephilim becomes a cautionary tale, warning against the dangers of hubris and moral decay. It calls into question the balance between divine order and human free will, a theme that resonates through various cultures and epochs. As we continue to explore the Book of Enoch, we must also examine the structure of the text itself. It is not a singular narrative, but a compilation of various writings, each contributing to the overarching theme of divine justice and revelation. The layers of meaning embedded in the text invite multiple interpretations, allowing readers to engage with the material on different levels. Some passages are poetic, while others are more direct in their messaging. This complexity is part of what makes the Book of Enoch such a compelling subject of study. Now, let's take a moment to consider how these ancient narratives relate to our modern understanding of history and mythology. The stories of the Nephilim in Enoch challenge us to confront the boundaries of belief and skepticism. Are these accounts mere myths, or do they hold truths that transcend time? The ongoing fascination with these figures suggests that they continue to resonate with contemporary audiences, prompting discussions about morality, existence, and our place in the universe. As we dive deeper into the specifics of Enoch's visions, we will encounter various interpretations of the text that reflect the ongoing dialogue between faith and reason. The questions raised by the Book of Enoch are not easily answered. They require careful consideration of historical context, linguistic nuances, and theological implications. In grappling with these complexities, we are drawn into a timeless inquiry about the nature of good and evil, divine intervention, and the human condition. If you are intrigued by the depth of these narratives and their implications, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more investigations like this. Engaging with these ancient texts is not merely an academic exercise. It is a journey into the heart of human experience, where the lines between myth and history become blurred. Now, let's turn our attention back to the Nephilim. As we analyze Enoch's accounts, we will begin to identify key passages that paint a vivid picture of their nature and significance. The descriptions of their physical prowess and moral failings serve as a reflection of humanity's struggle with temptation and corruption. The Nephilim embody both the grandeur and the pitfalls of human aspiration, reminding us of the potential for both greatness and downfall that resides within us all. One pivotal passage describes the Nephilim as those who have fallen, suggesting a connection to the concept of fallen angels. This interpretation has significant implications, as it positions the Nephilim not just as giants of physical strength, but as symbols of rebellion against divine order. Their existence raises challenging questions about the nature of free will and the consequences that follow when divine beings choose to act against their intended purpose. As we navigate through Enoch's visionary experiences, we will encounter further layers of meaning regarding the Nephilim's role. Enoch's dialogues with angels reveal insights into the cosmic order and the moral responsibilities of both divine and human beings. The dialogues often emphasize the need for accountability and the importance of striving for righteousness in the face of temptation. The narrative of the Nephilim invites us to reflect on our own choices and the broader implications of our actions in the world. It serves as a reminder that our struggles are not new. They echo through the ages, linking us to the experiences of those who came before us. In grappling with these ancient stories, we are invited to engage with the eternal questions of existence, morality, and the search for meaning. As we prepare to explore the archaeological evidence and physical remnants that relate to the stories of the Nephilim, we must keep in mind the intricate web of connections that bind these narratives together. The Book of Enoch, with its rich tapestry of visions and revelations, sets the stage for a deeper investigation into how these ancient accounts intersect with historical findings. What secrets do the stones of the past hold, and how might they illuminate our understanding of the Nephilim and their significance in human history? Ready yourself as we embark on this journey, poised to uncover the layers of reality that surround Enoch and the Nephilim. The path ahead promises to challenge our perceptions and deepen our understanding of the ancient world, bridging the gap between myth and reality and inviting us to ponder the implications of these narratives in our own lives. As we delve deeper into the investigation surrounding the Nephilim, it's crucial to shift our focus toward the tangible evidence that may shed light on the ancient narratives found in the Book of Enoch. This text, with its vivid accounts and rich descriptions, offers clues that may connect these legendary figures to real historical contexts. The archaeological findings we explore today may not only validate the existence of the Nephilim, but also redefine our understanding of ancient cultures and their monumental achievements. One of the most compelling aspects of this investigation involves the megaliths and ancient structures scattered across the globe, which some theorists suggest could be linked to the Nephilim. For instance, sites like Baalbek in Lebanon are home to some of the largest stone blocks ever quarried, weighing hundreds of tons. The precision with which these stones are cut and placed raises significant questions about the techniques employed by the civilizations responsible for their construction. Could such feats of engineering suggest the involvement of beings with extraordinary capabilities, as described in Enoch's accounts? If these massive stones were indeed moved and placed by human hands, how did they achieve such precision? The ongoing debate among archaeologists and engineers regarding the construction methods of these ancient sites speaks to the enduring mystery surrounding them. The Book of Enoch describes the Nephilim as giants, beings of immense stature and strength. Their very existence poses a challenge to conventional narratives about human capabilities in the ancient world. If we consider the possibility that these beings were not merely mythological, but rather had a basis in reality, we are compelled to re-examine the archaeological evidence for structures that could accommodate such figures. The juxtaposition of ancient texts and modern archaeological findings creates an intriguing dialogue that demands further exploration. As we analyze the physical evidence, we must also consider the implications of the interpretations that arise from it. Some scholars advocate for a literal understanding of the Nephilim as described in Enoch, arguing that these beings were not only significant in size, but also in their influence on humanity. This perspective leads to a fascinating inquiry about the impact of their presence on ancient civilizations and the narratives that have emerged around them. What would it mean for our understanding of history if the Nephilim were indeed real entities that shaped human development? On the other hand, conventional archaeology often emphasizes a metaphorical interpretation of these texts, suggesting that the stories of the Nephilim reflect cultural fears and moral lessons rather than actual historical events. This perspective encourages us to view the Nephilim as symbolic of humanity's struggles, representing the dangers of hubris and the consequences of straying from divine will. If we accept this interpretation, it raises questions about what these ancient stories reveal about the societies that produced them. Were the Nephilim a cautionary tale meant to warn future generations about the dangers of forsaking moral integrity? As we navigate through the evidence and interpretations, we must also confront the counter-arguments presented by conventional archaeology. Critics often point to the lack of direct evidence supporting the existence of the Nephilim or their alleged architectural achievements. They argue that while ancient texts can provide fascinating insights into cultural beliefs, they should not be taken as literal historical accounts. This skepticism is vital in maintaining a balanced perspective, as it encourages critical thinking about the sources of our knowledge. However, the absence of direct evidence does not dismiss the possibility of alternative explanations. The complexity of ancient narratives often intertwines with historical truths that have been lost over time. Could it be that the Nephilim represent a memory of a bygone era, a remnant of real figures or events that have been exaggerated or mythologized through generations? This line of questioning opens up a broader investigation into the nature of myth itself, challenging us to consider how stories evolve within cultures and the ways in which they reflect societal values and fears. Furthermore, we must also examine the implications of advanced technologies that may have existed in ancient times. Some theories propose that the civilizations responsible for the construction of monumental structures possessed knowledge or tools that have since been forgotten. This perspective invites us to consider the possibility that the Nephilim were not only physical giants, but also metaphorical representations of lost knowledge and capabilities. Were these beings a reflection of humanity's potential that has since been diminished due to moral or spiritual decline? As we continue to explore the connections between ancient texts and archaeological findings, it is essential to remain open to the possibilities that lie ahead. The investigation into the Nephilim and their implications challenges our understanding of history, urging us to question established narratives and consider the nuances that shape our interpretations of the past. If you are intrigued by these connections and want to dive deeper into the mysteries surrounding the Nephilim, remember to subscribe to our channel for more investigations like this. Let's now turn our attention to the archaeological evidence that might directly relate to the Nephilim. Numerous ancient sites have been identified as potential locations of significance, where the intersections of myth and reality may converge. The investigation into these sites often reveals structures that hint at advanced engineering practices, which provoke questions about the capabilities of those who built them. For instance, the ancient site of Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey is one of the earliest known temples, dating back to around 9600 BCE. The intricacy of its carvings and the sheer size of its pillars suggest a level of sophistication that challenges our understanding of prehistoric societies. Could it be that the builders of Göbekli Tepe were inspired by the legends of the Nephilim, prompting them to erect monumental structures that echoed their narratives? The convergence of religious and cultural practices in such sites raises intriguing questions about the role that myth played in the development of early civilizations. We must also consider how these ancient peoples might have perceived their world. The awe-inspiring presence of towering structures and the stories of giants could have shaped their understanding of existence. The amalgamation of myth and reality in their lives illustrates how deeply intertwined these narratives are with the human experience. The Nephilim serve as a reminder that our ancestors grappled with the same existential questions we face today. As we continue to examine these connections, we are invited to reflect on our own beliefs and the stories we tell ourselves about our place in the universe. In conclusion, as we analyze the physical evidence and discuss the implications of the Nephilim, we find ourselves at the intersection of myth and history. The exploration of ancient texts and archaeological sites invites us to reconsider our understanding of the past as we seek to unravel the mysteries that have persisted through time. The Nephilim challenge us to confront our perceptions of reality and the narratives that shape our beliefs, urging us to delve deeper into the complexities of human existence. What remains unanswered, however, is how these ancient stories will continue to resonate as we forge ahead into an uncertain future. The investigation into the Nephilim leads us to explore alternative hypotheses that surround their existence and significance. As we delve into these theories, we encounter a variety of perspectives that challenge traditional interpretations of the ancient texts. One prominent theory suggests that the Nephilim were not merely mythological giants, but rather symbolic representations of humanity's potential, moral decline, or even reflections of advanced technologies that were lost to time. Historically, the concept of giants, often described in various cultures, has evoked intrigue and skepticism alike. Some scholars argue that these stories could stem from real-life encounters with individuals or groups who were physically exceptional, perhaps due to genetic anomalies or extraordinary feats. This prompts us to consider whether the Nephilim are rooted in historical memories of extraordinary people, later embellished by myth-making as societies sought to explain the unexplainable. As we examine the texts, particularly the Book of Enoch, we can see that the Nephilim are depicted as the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. This enigmatic phrase raises questions about the identities of these sons of God. Some interpretations suggest they were fallen angels, while others propose they could represent a noble lineage. Each perspective carries its implications, and we find ourselves navigating a complex web of interpretations that enhance the mystique of the Nephilim. The suggestion that the Nephilim symbolize lost knowledge or advanced technologies is particularly captivating. Could it be that ancient civilizations possessed capabilities that have since faded into obscurity? The notion of forgotten technologies invites us to reconsider how we view the past. Some theorists posit that the monumental structures we often associate with the Nephilim, such as megaliths and ancient monuments, could indeed be remnants of advanced engineering practices. These structures challenge our understanding of what was possible in ancient times and provoke critical questions about the knowledge and skills of those who built them. For instance, consider the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Built around 400-500 years ago, its precision and scale have astounded architects and engineers for centuries. Could it be that the builders had access to tools or techniques that have since been lost? This perspective reshapes our understanding of human ingenuity and the potential for ancient civilizations to have been far more advanced than we typically credit them. In light of this exploration, we must also contemplate the implications of interpreting the Nephilim as a reflection of humanity's moral and spiritual trajectory. Some theorists argue that the rise and fall of the Nephilim in the texts signify humanity's struggle with ethical dilemmas, an ongoing battle between light and darkness. This interpretation allows for a richer understanding of the Nephilim as a cautionary tale, serving as a warning about the consequences of straying from a righteous path. This leads us to the question, what can we learn from the Nephilim narrative about our own society? The themes of hubris, moral decay, and the pursuit of power resonate through history and remain relevant today. As we reflect on these connections, we uncover the potential for the Nephilim to serve as a mirror for our own existence, prompting introspection on how we navigate our moral landscapes. However, the debate does not end there. The existence of the Nephilim as literal beings raises its own set of challenges. Conventional archaeology often dismisses these narratives as mythological, focusing instead on empirical evidence that can be observed and verified. This creates a tension between those who seek to uphold traditional interpretations and those who advocate for a more expansive view that accommodates the possibility of lost histories. The conventional argument posits that the Nephilim represent a blending of folklore and morality tales, serving to illustrate human weaknesses rather than document actual events. The diverse interpretations of the Nephilim highlight the rich tapestry of human experience and belief. Each perspective offers valuable insights into how our ancestors grappled with the mysteries of existence. As we continue our investigation, we must remain open to the complexity of these narratives and the nuances that come with them. The Nephilim challenge us to question our understanding of reality and to consider the broader implications of their existence. As we reflect on these hypotheses, we are reminded that the exploration of the Nephilim is not merely an academic exercise. It invites us to engage with fundamental questions about who we are and what we believe. The dialogues surrounding these ancient giants push us to confront our perceptions of history, myth, and the very nature of truth. If you find yourself captivated by these alternative perspectives and the mysteries they unveil, be sure to share your thoughts and insights in the comments. How do you interpret the Nephilim? Do you see them as historical figures, moral metaphors, or symbols of lost knowledge? Your contributions could enrich this ongoing exploration, as there is much to unpack in these ancient narratives. As we move forward, let's consider the archaeological evidence that may lend credence to these theories. Are there structures or artifacts that could potentially connect to the narratives of the Nephilim? The investigation into physical evidence illuminates the intersection of myth and reality, providing a framework for understanding how these ancient stories may have shaped, and been shaped by, the world around them. In conclusion, the exploration of alternative hypotheses surrounding the Nephilim opens up expansive avenues of thought. Whether viewed as symbols of lost knowledge, reflections of humanity's potential, or as historical figures, the Nephilim encourage us to think critically about our interpretations of the past. As we continue to investigate their implications, we remain poised to uncover new insights that may reshape our understanding of ancient texts and the cultures that birthed them. These ancient giants, whether real or metaphorical, compel us to engage with the complexities of our human narrative, urging us to seek deeper truths within the stories we tell. As we continue our exploration of the Nephilim and the profound implications of Enoch's visions, we must consider the broader scenarios that emerge from these ancient texts. Enoch's revelations about the Nephilim open the door to a multitude of interpretations, each carrying significant consequences for our understanding of history, morality, and spirituality. By examining the implications of these interpretations, we delve deeper into the reasons why the Nephilim narrative remains a focal point of debate and inquiry. Let us first analyze the possibility that the Nephilim were more than mere mythological figures. If we accept the premise that they existed as literal beings, their presence would suggest a reality where divine interactions with humanity were tangible. This interpretation raises the question, what does it mean for humanity if the Nephilim were real? One consequence could be a reevaluation of our understanding of divine intervention and its impact on human history. The Nephilim's existence could imply that there were once beings who embodied both the divine and human traits, thus complicating our understanding of good and evil. Conversely, if we interpret the Nephilim as symbols or metaphors, we could view them as representations of humanity's moral failings. This perspective highlights the dangers of hubris, the idea that humans, when given power and knowledge, may stray from righteous paths. The Nephilim could serve as cautionary figures, reminding us of the consequences of ethical decay and the pursuit of unchecked ambition. This interpretation resonates with modern audiences as we grapple with similar challenges in our society today. The narrative prompts us to reflect on our moral trajectories and the potential repercussions of our choices. However, the debate does not end here. The existence of the Nephilim as literal entities intersects with various theological and philosophical paradigms. For instance, some scholars propose that they embody the struggle between celestial beings and human imperfections. This interpretation brings to light the notion of fallen angels, suggesting that the Nephilim could represent a blending of divine and earthly realms. Such a perspective invites questions about the nature of sin, redemption, and our relationship with the divine, issues that remain relevant in contemporary discourse. As we dissect these alternative hypotheses, we must also address the counter-arguments presented by conventional archaeology. Traditional views often dismiss the Nephilim as mere folklore, artifacts of ancient storytelling rather than historical accounts. This skepticism stems from a reliance on empirical evidence and the scientific method, which, while valuable, can sometimes overlook the nuances of ancient beliefs and cultural narratives. The challenge lies in reconciling these differing viewpoints, as both sides contribute to our understanding of the past. The tension between myth and reality is palpable as we navigate through these interpretations. If we consider the Nephilim through a literal lens, we become entangled in a web of questions regarding their origins, purpose, and influence. Were they harbingers of chaos, or did they embody a higher understanding of existence? On the other hand, viewing them as metaphors allows us to engage with the complexities of human nature and the moral challenges we face. Each approach presents its own merits and limitations, underscoring the multifaceted nature of the Nephilim narrative. This exploration leads us to contemplate the implications of our interpretations. A society that embraces the possibility of the Nephilim's existence may foster a sense of wonder and curiosity about the unknown. It encourages an openness to the mysteries of our existence, prompting individuals to seek deeper truth in both their spiritual and intellectual pursuits. Conversely, a rejection of this possibility might lead to a more rigid understanding of history, one that stifles inquiry and exploration. As we approach the conclusion of our investigation, we must consider 2 or 3 final scenarios regarding the Nephilim's implications. The first scenario posits that the Nephilim were indeed literal beings, existing in a time when divine and human realms intertwined. This interpretation could reshape our understanding of biblical narratives and their relevance to contemporary issues. By acknowledging their existence, we open ourselves to a deeper appreciation of the complexities of faith and history. The second scenario suggests that the Nephilim serve as powerful metaphors for humanity's inherent flaws. In this view, they become cautionary figures that warn us of the consequences of moral decay and the pursuit of power without accountability. This interpretation resonates with modern audiences who grapple with ethical dilemmas in their own lives, making the Nephilim relevant to contemporary discussions about morality and societal behavior. A third possibility emerges when we consider the Nephilim as a bridge between the literal and metaphorical. In this scenario, they represent a synthesis of divine influence and human imperfection, encapsulating the struggle for balance in our existence. This perspective acknowledges the richness of the narrative while encouraging critical reflection on our understanding of good and evil. Remember, what stands firm in our understanding of the Nephilim, and what remains open for discussion? The narrative of the Nephilim invites us to engage with these questions, challenging us to grapple with the implications of our interpretations. As we conclude this segment of our exploration, we recognize that the Nephilim serve as more than just ancient figures. They symbolize the complexity of human experience and the ongoing quest for meaning in our lives. If you find these discussions thought-provoking, consider sharing your thoughts in the comments. How do you interpret the Nephilim? Do they stand as cautionary symbols, historical figures, or something else entirely? Your insights contribute to the richness of this ongoing exploration as we continue to unravel the mysteries that surround these ancient giants. As we prepare to delve into the final chapter of this investigation, let us carry forth the questions and reflections that have emerged, eager to uncover what lies ahead. As we reach the conclusion of our exploration into Enoch's visions and the enigmatic beings known as the Nephilim, we find ourselves at a crossroads of understanding. Throughout this investigation, we have delved into ancient texts, archaeological findings, and various interpretations that challenge our perceptions of history and mythology. The revelations surrounding Enoch's experiences and the implications of the Nephilim invite us to ponder significant questions about humanity, morality, and the nature of existence itself. At the heart of this discussion lies the Book of Enoch, a text that has long fascinated scholars and spiritual seekers alike. This ancient scripture provides a unique perspective on the Nephilim, describing them as beings of great stature and power, who walked the earth before the Great Flood. Their origins, as narrated by Enoch, suggest a blending of the divine and the human, raising questions about the very fabric of creation. If we accept this narrative at face value, we must grapple with what it means for our understanding of biblical history and the narratives that shape our cultural consciousness. One of the most profound implications of Enoch's revelations is the moral narrative surrounding the Nephilim. They are depicted not only as extraordinary beings, but also as cautionary figures representing humanity's flaws. The tension between their grandeur and the moral decay they embody serves as a powerful metaphor for the struggles we face in our own lives. Are we, like the Nephilim, capable of transcending our limitations, or do we risk succumbing to our darker impulses? This duality resonates with contemporary discussions about ethics, power, and responsibility. As we analyze various interpretations of the Nephilim, we encounter a spectrum of perspectives that reflect our own beliefs and biases. Some view these beings as literal giants, historical figures whose existence challenges conventional archaeology. Others interpret them as symbolic representations of humanity's struggles, serving as reminders of the ethical dilemmas we navigate daily. This fluidity in interpretation highlights the richness of the narrative and the necessity for an open mind when engaging with ancient texts. Throughout our inquiry, we have also examined the archaeological evidence that supports or contradicts the existence of the Nephilim. Megaliths and ancient ruins provide tangible links to the past, yet they also raise questions about the narratives we construct based on selective evidence. The debate between those who uphold traditional views and those who advocate for alternative hypotheses illustrates the complexities of interpreting history. If we are to honor the past, we must be willing to embrace the uncertainties and contradictions that come with it. As we contemplate the scenarios that emerge from our investigation, we see several potential outcomes. The first scenario posits that the Nephilim were indeed real beings who walked among us, influencing the course of human history. This interpretation invites us to rethink our understanding of biblical narratives and their implications for contemporary society. If we accept the possibility of their existence, we must also consider what it means for our own moral and spiritual journeys. The second scenario suggests that the Nephilim serve as powerful metaphors for humanity's flaws and aspirations. In this view, they embody the dual nature of our existence, the capacity for greatness tempered by the potential for moral failure. This interpretation resonates strongly with modern audiences as we grapple with ethical dilemmas in an ever-evolving world. The Nephilim, in this context, become cautionary symbols urging us to reflect on our choices and their consequences. A third scenario emerges when we consider the Nephilim as a blend of both interpretations. They represent the intersection of the literal and the metaphorical, bridging the gap between ancient beliefs and contemporary understanding. This perspective acknowledges the richness of the narrative while encouraging us to engage critically with the questions it raises. What lessons can we draw from the Nephilim story? How does it shape our understanding of good and evil in our own lives? Throughout this exploration, we have opened many loops of inquiry, each leading to deeper questions about faith, morality, and the nature of existence. The narrative of Enoch and the Nephilim invites us to engage with these complexities, challenging us to confront the implications of our interpretations. As we consider what stands firm in our understanding and what remains open for discussion, we recognize the importance of remaining curious and open-minded. If you have found this investigation intriguing, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments. How do you interpret the Nephilim? Do you see them as cautionary symbols, historical figures, or something entirely different? Your insights contribute to the ongoing dialogue surrounding these ancient narratives, enriching our understanding of the past and its relevance to our lives today. In closing, the journey through Enoch's visions and the enigma of the Nephilim reveals more than just ancient tales. It reflects the timeless struggles of humanity. Let us carry forth the questions and reflections that have emerged from this investigation, eager to uncover what lies ahead. The stories of the past continue to shape our present and future, urging us to seek deeper truths in our spiritual and intellectual pursuits. As we part ways, remember that the quest for understanding is never complete. It evolves just as we do, and the mysteries that surround us invite us to explore further. Join us next time as we continue to unravel the complexities of ancient narratives and their implications for our world today. The journey is just beginning, and the answers may be closer than we think.